Hi guys, and welcome to this episode of the Just My Opinion podcast. Today we are going to be talking about the movie directed and produced by Nkeng Stephen, Lourd. So we are going to be talking about this movie, but we will gradually progress to talk about the whole entertainment industry as a whole, with the several movies like Kuva, Plantaman's plantation that has been dropped, and we are going to discuss about like the availability of those films and all of that. So stay tuned. So before we progress, of course, the ambassador, anything to
Yep.
say?
Hello, people. It's your ambassador again doing this thing. As usual, I'm just here to speak out my mind. It is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. At the end of the day, we stay true to the name of this podcast, Just My Opinion. It's just our opinions at the end of the day. If you disagree, feel free to let us know what your opinion is in the comments below. We are very open to that. So, let's dive into it. Lourd, a movie with a lot of action. Lot of action. I mean, I watched the trailer of this movie and I was like, okay, okay, there's a lot of fighting, and the gun scenes and the kicking scenes look really like real. They look real, and I really commend them for that. And this film stars people like Elvis Achiri, Nabil Fongod, Frida Farah, Ewuber, Funte, Mbi Collins, Anurim, like a lot of big names in the Cameroonian entertainment scene, in the Cameroonian movie scene. And I feel from the trailer, because everything I will say from this is based off the trailer, and we are going to talk about what we have available to us so far is just the trailer as we progress. But Ambassador, have you watched the trailer of this movie? What do you think?
I watched the movie, so I was at the movie premiere. Yeah, it was at Mountain Hotel some months ago, or a month ago about that. Yeah. So the movie premiere, and I was really impressed. I had seen the trailer, and I was like, wow. But the movie was even better than I expected. Also, what I liked in the movie was he had an emotional touch for me. Not everybody will have that touch, but these are guys I have known. I mean, for those who I just recently knew, it's like for the last 10 years, maybe. But for some of them, I've known them even before when I used to, look at them like younger, smaller people, because I had my own things going in my own direction. Now all of them are big, established people in their own things. And yeah, some of them started in entertainment back in the days, because I've always been in entertainment somehow, some way. We used to have our interactions back in the days. Also, I like the fact that they brought, so like the general in the movie is their teacher from school. I think it taught at least two of them. There is the guy who is like the main bad man who fights a lot. For somebody who grew up in support, you will know him. That they used to call him Da Cobra. He used to have his music studio where all of those guys used to come and try to record their songs. He used to teach all of them karate. At one time, he used to teach Ken and the rest karate. At one time, Ken and the others, when they were in CPE, went and started teaching some younger people karate in Alliance Franco, for those who know Boya. So it's something which I used to look at. I'm like, at one time I was like, what's wrong with, not like when I was young, we used to do karate, we used to call it flying machine, whatever. But when you grow out of those things, you're like, what rubbish is karate? I mean, look for money and buy a gun if you want to defend yourself. So when I saw them still doing karate, it was like, what's wrong? These people have not grown out of this karate thing we used to do when they were young. But I saw them still just passionate about their thing. It was funny for me at one time. When I meet, I'll make fun of the whole thing, just taking jabs here and there. So to see them make something out of it, which looks like something that we used to see the Rambos and the Commandos and the Chuck Norris make a living, and we used to take them seriously, but we're not taking now because we were never taking those karate things anywhere. So we thought it was just a joke, at least for our generation growing up. So seeing them make something out of it, which is, I can comfortably put that film next to any Hollywood movie in the Cameroonian context, that this is our own action movie. Yes. So when I saw it, it was really emotional for me. I really felt like, yeah, I did not contribute any way to it, but I just felt like we are here now and everything is possible. Everybody doing their own things well from their own angle. Things might just fall in place. We have had a lot of despair and a lot of, should I call it, discouragement and disappointments in the industry of late. So seeing this just was a very comforting feeling for me. Yeah.
So, like I said, I've not watched this movie. I wasn't at the premiere, and so far, I am going off the trailer of this movie, and I'm impressed by the fighting and the realistic nature of the movie. And but I'm still wondering, what about the storyline? Do you think the storyline was something original? Do you think it was something which has been done over and over
So
again, or it was different?
one, it was original to me in the sense that the names they were using all the Yaoundé, they'll change it to something. They actually it's Laxalou, which in French that means the highway, and most of the action took place along the highway. Um, so even the names of the places, Edeya, for those who know Cameroon, you can actually say, okay, this is what they're trying to refer to. They just twisted all of the names and made it a little bit sound like some Black Panther name. But all of the names were local names that they just twisted. Yeah, most of the storyline was twisted, but adapted to the Cameroonian context, which is good. Um, the way the administrators were acting up is good too. Now, there were lots of, should I call it, imagination and exaggeration kind of settings, which, if we are being honest, most American and Chinese movies, action movies we watch, have those kind of exaggerations from Jet Li slapping people with cars and bikes, and we enjoyed those movies.
Yeah.
So one man with a gun killing an army of how many soldiers? All of those things are exaggerations, which we enjoyed. So I'm not going to come and complain about their own, let me say it in pidgin, gingerly exaggeration. So with that being said, I think I enjoyed the movie, right? One, I enjoyed their effort. They were also like during the premiere. I mean, like I was really like, whoa, is this Cameroon? We're actually enjoying, like I've gone to a number of premieres where for the fact that you see a couple of familiar faces, people are well dressed, and the real thing itself is not really, it's not nothing to write about. Yeah. But this one, you watch the movie and you're like, for those who are familiar with cinema settings, this is really something which you can like, the whole makes whoa, hey, whoa. Then there is this touch of humor every now and then, like Nabil was always doing some crazy things. He was trying to, let me not spoil it, let me not spoil it. Yeah, but Nabil was always doing some crazy things which will make the whole laugh and things like that. So taking us through the various emotions of fright, anxiety, tension, relaxed, emotion, laughter, all of those various things. Yeah. So I enjoyed even the movie premiere, and I was like, okay, we can do these things to in Cameroon. But I think also it was surely very expensive to realize compared to our. So when you say is a story original, which story is original? In the words of Nas, there's nothing new under the sun. It's never what you do, but how it's done. So the way it was done was original. But now the story, which story is original? Is it the stories which we act of girl meets boy, fall in love, girl from poor family, boy comes and saves her? Happens all the time. We can start poking holes in all our other movies which are not second-hand but are third-hand stories of Hollywood acted it, Nigeria acted it, then we are acting from it. So yeah. So it's about how it's done. It's not necessarily the story in itself, because all stories have been. So imagine from Adam and Eve time to Abraham to now. Which story do you want to invent? So yeah. Execution was top. Now for storyline was adapted to the Cameroonian context. I think it's good.
Yeah, then for me, I feel like that's perfect. Like you said, there's nothing new under the sun, but it's how it's done. I feel like the movies I really enjoy now is not necessarily that the storyline is totally out of this world, because you see storylines which repeat themselves or scenes which repeat themselves, but the thing that really stands out is the way this person plays this character. This person adds a touch, a personality, like the personalities change. And yeah, I feel like even the romantic movies that come out and they go viral nowadays, it's not necessarily that it's a kind of romantic story which has never been heard, but it's just that
Yeah.
the personalities are a little bit different. There's some humor added into it, and yeah, yeah, that's what spices it up. And like you said, like if it had the Cameroonian touch, then for me, like that's just perfect, because at the end of the day, we need to always bear in mind that, like, the Nigerians sold their culture to us using their movies. We fell in love with things Nigerian. It has a huge part to play with Nollywood and their movies, and we saw like things happen in Nigeria, it happens in Cameroon too, so we felt like we could relate to that. So they sold themselves to us using their culture, and now Nigeria entertainment is like one of the most popular entertainment scenes in Cameroon. So I think definitely our movies, it's going to be, if we are able to sell our culture using our movies, if we are able to make the world fall in love with Cameroon using our movies, it's going to be perfect. And that's the very thing the Koreans are doing now. I've forgotten the term because I watched this documentary about this, but I've forgotten the term that was used. But basically, it's like, you know how like the Chinese are trying to colonize Africa, or the British came for colonization and wanted to make Africans British, basically, like adopt their culture and everything. So the documentary was basically like South Korea, they are using the method of entertainment for their own colonization. So I've forgotten the way it was phrased, but basically they are making the world fall in love with everything South Korean, using their music, using their movies, and it's South Korea is becoming more popular. So if we as the Cameroonian industry were able to do that, then yeah, that would be perfect. And like also I watched it, and with all the action and everything, I was like, this probably costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money.
Yep.
And I
I
saw
think they had some external funding or some, not external funding like that, but the story they told us was, Elvis moves to the States, it's between the States and Cameroon. He met there was one tall Francophone guy who was there. He met him, and then the guy had some source of funding. So it looked expensive. And I like that. I mean, if you had watched, Ken used to do some short movies, you realize that the last time I met him, I was like, why don't you do a movie? And it was like the kind of movie he wants to do. He cannot really afford it right now. But he had always been putting out at least 2 or 3 short movies, which everybody was like, why don't you just do a movie? But it's going to cost. And yeah, does not just want to do something which he wants to do something that can really be out there like a movie. I think some of us just want to tick the box that we are music directors, we are producers. Gather our janky money, we put together, we shoot something. We are happy that we have an industry. And then when Helen calls us a baby industry, we start doing mass protests.
Yeah, I like Nkeng Stephen, for me, like what he did with this movie, if like, and what I'm hearing now, I'm just thinking of the saying, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So all the things he has been doing over the years, like when I saw this movie, I remember the short movies he used to do when they were still back in Boya, and all the karate fighting scenes. The quality of the video was not the best, but they used to do some action kind of things, and I was like, okay, yeah. So I feel like that action thing, the video quality thing, the directing thing that he had been doing with short music videos, like he merged all of that together to produce
everything
this.
And put out here.
Yes, so
it was superb. It was superb.
Yeah, I think it's a really like everything coming together moment, like you do different things and you start thinking like, oh, I'm going in these different directions. When everything come together, I think like it was a good everything coming together moment for him. So yeah, I think it was really amazing. That said, we applaud the movie, it's great, but then we have something to talk about. Before we talk about this, let's read this quote from Siwa International. Then we will proceed to talk about.
Maybe do we take a break before that, or do we just go ahead with it?
Yeah, I want us to read the quote from Siwa International. Then we'll talk about the Echo app. Then we're going to
Okay.
react to Siwa International. Okay. So Siwa
Okay.
International said, I don't attend meaningless events. I don't attend events profitable to just one person. Kamif is all about taking debts from dresses to attend party and awards for films known only by a few movie makers. We know Siwa International, he goes directly to the point and he's never afraid to share his opinion. We are going to be reacting to that shortly, but first let's introduce this wonderful app to you guys. Ambassador.
Okay. So greetings, people. I would say those who are ambassador, I'm all about the money. I like entertainment, but I'm always about my business moves behind the scene, trying to push the money here and there. So once I came across this app and this team I'm collaborating with to an extent, I felt like I should share it. It's under development or let's say under construction. But I already want people to be aware of it, to start searching on it and things like that. It's called Echo.online. It's an app and a site built by Africans for Africans. It is an app which is meant to, like what we say, democratize the playing field for entertainers. So it's an app which is going to help entertainers monetize their art. What do I mean by monetize their art? Produce your songs, you can upload it on that app and sell it there directly. Rather than having to get a label and then get somebody in the US to create you an account so that your money from iTunes or Tidal can go to that account, then transfer the money to you. Yeah, all of those chains make it impossible for independent artists in Africa, especially if you don't have the means to get somebody in America or in Europe. Yeah. So it is adapted to African realities. You can sell your songs using mobile money or any other credit or banking, online banking service. You cash out your money and you use it. You upload your songs. It's also evolving towards all the other aspects of entertainment, like being able to sell your merch, you could get bookings on it. So it's just an app for you to start exploring. And also, it is a good base for African music, where one, those who are out of Africa can get into the African market to showcase what they have, and Africans as well, fans who love Afro music can be sure that when you go into Echo.online, you can get a large pool of African music. So that's Echo.online for you. Start looking up. It's under construction, as I said. I'm building many features to it as the days go by. But just pay attention to Echo.online. It's really going to make a difference on the entertainment landscape for Africa.
Yeah, guys, and for me, Echo.online, I use the app to check out what is happening in the industry. I think down the line, we might even start doing like some reviews for the new songs dropped on Echo.online. We might do that. So if you want to bring your music to the attention of Chakara TV, you're an upcoming artist out there, and you want Chakara TV to notice your music, definitely putting it on Echo.online is the way to go. Because sometimes I just go on the app and I'm like, what's new? And I'm checking out different songs. So yeah, that's definitely the way to go. So CY International, he said
80-20 or no.
right, he said he doesn't attend meaningless events profitable just to one person. And he goes on to say Kamif is all about taking debts for dresses to attend parties and awards for films known only by a few movie makers. Okay, so before I even proceed to dissect and give the ambassador an opportunity to dissect, when he said taking loans for dresses, every time I see people in red carpet events, premieres, and the dresses are looking so amazing, and I'm like, where do they have the money to buy
Some are looking
this?
amazing, some are looking out of topic. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't even want to get into that. The fashion.
Okay.
Which premiere was that? Was it Lax Load? There was one premiere that I was watching. Yes, I think it's Lax Load. I was looking at the pictures, going through the pictures. People were just. Was the team madness, like, was the team wear the weirdest dress you can find? Because people were like, somebody put like a black thing around their head, covered their face. I was like, was this? Yeah, it felt like the team was.
Now, people are just trying to be
madness.
very artistic about dressing, but at times some people really miss it. And dressing bizarre does not mean dressing cheap.
Mm.
So there is a way Lady Gaga would dress with meat on her body, but she makes sure that if she bought that meat, which is expensive meat, they kept the meat in a kind of way. You now don't just go to the slaughterhouse and then pick up meat which they have thrown and you hang it on your head. Because people value effort, you should put when you put effort to something, even when it's something crazy, it could be valued. When you don't put any effort, no creativity, then it's just nonsense. It's just like the madman is the mad deer. So I'm just saying that we should not mistake. Because most people will be like, when you want to talk, they're like, when it's others who do it, when Beyonce wore this thing, when she wore that net, there's this host girls wear, when she wore that net host thing, which had holes on it, people will not complain. When it's our own, no, we obviously saw that her own nets had the holes look like a design. There was some, should I call it, consistency to the holes. But yours was just one fat hole that looked like a scissors or the door of a car cut the net and then pulled it, or did not look consistent. So that some of those things which we are not fools. And plus, back in the days, I remember I said there's this guy, Chris Bad, that's how I used to call him. He used to imitate Michael Jackson. But because we now have access to too much Michael Jackson videos, anything that looked like the Michael Jackson, we're very happy to see Chris Bad. But now, as I get older and internet and we have seen so much of Michael Jackson, when I look at Chris Bad, I look at him, I'm like, why do we think this guy look like Michael Jackson? Why do we think his clothes look like Michael? So I'm saying now, this generation is so exposed to what it is. I can tell you about the behind the scene of, you go on Netflix, you will see 3 months preparation to a Beyonce concert. So I can tell you details about the preparation as if I was there. Maybe I was not there. So entertainers have to be very conscious of this fact that they are dealing with a very informed audience now, and you cannot just throw any mediocre thing at us and we are going to accept it. That's just a general statement. I'm not talking about Camif or Laxolute. I'm just saying a general statement to the industry. Okay, go ahead with it.
Yeah, but like the red carpet thing, there are a lot of crazy clothes, Anyway, so I wanted to talk about some of the clothes are crazy, some of them look really expensive, and I'm like, I know in the entertainment industry people are not making money like that, at least now, to be able to afford those kind of crazy clothes. So that's why I'm like, probably CY International knows the deal. He knows what's happening behind the scenes, that people actually take loans, or I don't know, sometimes they take loans to get the dresses, or they borrow the dresses and like we'll give it back later. But yeah, which is something people even do in the West, so it's not like, yeah.
No, but it's never about taking loans for dresses though. In a typical healthy business environment or business entertainment environment, I watched one Ibuka's interview where he said designers and clothing shops send him clothes before events. Because when he's on that red carpet and they ask you like, what are you wearing? And he says, I'm wearing this, if Fiona designs in Lagos, whatever. It's marketing. That's free marketing for the person. So, but there is that balance of the show and the business. Because, okay, if I'm, let's say, Louis Fame, I'm calling a Cameroonian designer who is really known there. Most of it in the designing sector. If I'm Louis Fame and I know that, okay, if, who should I call? Jeffrey Epuli puts on this shirt and he says on the red carpet that is produced by Louis, automatically it translates to numbers in my sales where the subsequent month, my sales jump from 25 to 50, which I can directly point at giving Jeffrey Bully that shirt. Then it makes sense business-wise. But one, we have a very unhealthy entertainment industry where the entertainers are their own fans, so they get together, clap for themselves. If you go to support market or you go to Munya market or you go to Poppy market, people don't know about those things you people are doing. The industry is not that connected to the streets. It's just them doing their own thing in their own small Gomba house kind of vibe. Now, so that is it. Normally, people should give you clothes for free because you're advertising those clothes. It's another thing. Secondly, in a healthy business environment, artists the how do I even call it? Some artists have what they call appearance fee. I'm not necessarily talking about red carpets and the rest, but to go for some, let's say, talk shows and things, they have appearance fee, which you give them, which is going to cover maybe their dressing and their makeup and their whatever. So there are some of those things which you have to trigger the pull from somewhere. So you can, in entertainment, they say you fake it till you make it. But while you are faking it, you should have a plan to make it. You cannot just be faking it, and hoping for luck to make it. If not, you get tired. That's where the CYE scenario comes to play now, where you are borrowing or its loans to dress up here. But if it's where you are faking it, like, I want to, like, they will say, okay, I want to look good. When people call you on stage, you're like, I'm dressed by this person. The person will not give you money, you actually bought the thing. But if the sales now translate to that person's shop, the next time you'll be able to command those numbers and say, yeah, I actually referred 20 people to your shop who asked me about this dress and I told them you gave it, so this time give me this thing for free. If you can command those numbers, any reasonable business person is going to give you those things for free. But truth be told, our entertainers don't command those numbers because they don't take time to build a fan base, to test their fan loyalty, to monetize their art. They don't do those things. As usual, you go on Chakra TV and you see a lot of my videos where I say entertainers need to pull in a lot of business minds into their teams. And when they do that, they should listen to them. People went to school to study these things. You don't read 3 blogs and become a business expert. It does not work that way. So, with that being said, all of their red carpets have a point. But also, as I said, I think I've said this about twice with regards to CY. It makes very valid points at times. But for those who know where these points are coming from, we have to take it with a pinch of salt. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So, given that I know should I call it the tension between him and Kamif and the organizers of Kamif, if you watch the debate they had on Zibenja's show, the battle he was having with Mr. Gilbert, the should I call it I don't know if I should the founder or the person behind Kamif. He had a heated debate with this guy. So that already makes me to take whatever he's saying with a pinch of salt, knowing that, okay, you have an issue with this guy, so you might not just be objectively putting out this criticizing so that they grow. You might be criticizing too because you have a problem with this guy. That's why you're not good. You had gone there some other years back. Did you go those other years because at that time the artists were not borrowing money to buy clothes? Or are you not just going this year because you have had tensions with these guys? And he went ahead to say what I'm saying. He said last year or the year before, he came and supported Kamif, although he had lost his mother, he had never buried his mother. But when he did his own show, I think I've forgotten his own show. He did his own show recently. They did not support him. Instead, they ganged against him to sabotage his show. But luckily, the show was successful. So it's some kind of vengeance, not necessarily because you don't like the quality or you don't like what Kamif stands for. Some form of vengeance, like you guys didn't return the favor, so I'm also going to do the same, which is a very objective position to stand to criticize something. So that's my take on some of those statements he made. But generally, even before saying this, I've said here, when it comes to our red carpets, we have issues with it. The whole economics behind our fashion trends and our show business, it does not add up. It's not sustainable. If not for the other sources of finance that support the entertainment industry, it should really have been at zero. Rather than even being a baby industry, it would have been a fetus industry where it has not yet even been born. It's still in the mother's womb. So with that being said, I think he made valid points, but I always take it with a pinch of salt because I know some of the background things that happen, and even some unofficial things I also know. So I feel like, yeah, but people who I have no interest invested in both sides. I just want to see the industry grow. I'm going to take some of the things he said and say, yes, there's something to change here, even if it's coming from CY. there's something to change here. It's a valid point. But I'm not going to go against the whole Kamif just because Siwa said so, because I know he might have his own personal interest invested in saying that. But I'm going to try to make the changes to some of the things which he has said because I think they're valid.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I definitely think he made some valid points, but like I didn't know this behind the scenes drama you were talking about. But yeah, thinking about it from that stand, it's like okay, definitely I don't think he was saying it purely with the intention of let's get better, but definitely some of the points he made are still valid. Like yeah. Yeah, so I want us to talk briefly. We have been going for more than 30 minutes already, which is yeah longer than we planned to. But before we go, let's just talk briefly about the fact that I went online. So when I was like trying to do research on Lourd, and a lot of people were saying they have not seen the movie. So basically, after the premiere, what happens? Where's the movie placed? They're saying most of the times the movie is just watched by people in the entertainment scene and not the ordinary Cameroonian. The ordinary Cameroonian who comes back from work at night and wants to chill and watch a movie. Where do they go to watch this movie? And basically the review was like it happens with Kuva, Planters Plantation, the Planters Plantation, which I made a mistake with the name in the beginning. And most of these movies, we just hear about them, it creates buzz online, and only those who are in the entertainment scene, those who are in the entertainment scene, know about this
Like
movie.
us.
Yes, like us. Yeah, we know about the movie. Those who attend the premieres, watch the movies. After that, like red carpets make buzz. After that, the ordinary Cameroonian doesn't have access to this movie. The post even went on to talk about the fact that when the Nigerian Nollywood invaded the Cameroonian entertainment scene, the Cameroonian scene was because their movies were cheap and their movies were accessible. And it does in no way going for the copyright option, um, the the option of pirating movies, but just stating that this is what Nollywood did, and this is a way to get to the ordinary Cameroonians. And I feel like they had a point. They had a point because like I have not watched Lourd. I've watched the trailer and
Thriller.
I don't even know where to see this movie. I don't even know where to watch this movie.
So
Yeah.
that brings us back to what I said in the beginning, why I said we should learn to start support. Like now I'm talking about Echo Online. If it's not built by somebody's brother or you are not in some camp with some people, they don't support it. But they fail to understand that if we all build ourselves, that's how like if you sell on Tidal, Kanye West can call Jay-Z and say, Jay, can you please give me my behind the scene analytics on Tidal? Can you please come and sponsor this event? But Mr. Leo cannot call Jay-Z. Salatiel cannot call Jay-Z. But Salatiel supports Echo.online done by ambassador or the team which ambassador is working with. Are more accessible to him than Jay-Z. So you put it on Tidal and Apple, whatever, is just we not learning to support our own and then build our own system. Same thing with the movie industry. If you guys don't build our own, I think I've seen about two distribution, should I call it, sites and apps which have been built by Cameroonians. But nobody supports them. We don't even know them like that. But instead, actors should take it upon themselves and like, this thing grows, it's also going to help us. But if they are not part of the team, if they don't have shares in it, they don't care about it, but as that site does not work, so will your movie not go anywhere. Because if we are being honest, we'll put things on Netflix, but the everyday Cameroonian is not on Netflix. The woman in the market, and that goes back to the whole thing of people having to take loans now to buy clothes, because you don't have a fan base like that, you don't have a local following like that, you don't have the grassroots support. It's just industry people who have seen your movies know that you're a wonderful actor, but they don't know you like that. Now, coming to what you said about pirating, I don't think pirating is a very bad idea at times. When the Nigerians did their Alaba market thing, they broke down their films to part 1, part 2, part 3, just so that they can make ends meet. That's why business minds need to come into some of these things. It's not just about the passion of the art. There's also the business side of which business minds can bring onto the table. So I think Petit used to do it. That markets them to like you mix your songs in pirated things just so it gets on the street and everyday man can know it and they know this is our actors, this is what they do, and that's how you can command now the power on the ground. But keeping it just in our laptops and amongst entertainment circles, and wow man, you're wonderful. I like your movie. Yes, I like your movie too. So what? So yeah, that's my take on those things. We need to bring business minds on board and we need to support our own. Support Echo.online. Support all the African. We have what is the inner side, all of those things which we are building in Cameroon, in Africa, which we have access to and in control of. Let's support them.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, guys, so we have been talking for a really long time, and we now want to hear what you guys think. Please share your point of view in the comments below. At the end of the day, we are just sharing our opinions. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to Chakara TV. Thumbs up to this video. Hit the notification button, and see you guys next time. Bye, guys.